Hey, welcome to my stream. This is stream number two. Just getting the hang of my setup and Twitch, all the settings, what I'm supposed to do. I managed to get music on, which is nice. Using the Twitch soundtrack app. So hopefully I've got it set up that this will appear on the stream, but not on the VODs, because apparently that's bad and apparently I get into trouble. So yeah, fingers crossed this is going to work properly. But done a couple of tests, which have now been quickly deleted, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. Um, yeah, if you haven't seen my first stream, my name's Dave. I'm a Warhammer and Magic the Gathering fan, into various other tabletop games, board games, PC games, Switch games, basically anything that gets me a little bit away from reality. Yeah. And I just thought I'd yeah start doing some content creation, see how it goes, see what happens. But yeah, yeah, we'll see. So today, tonight even, I'm gonna start working on my festive build. Midvember is over now. My Midvember project is, yeah, okay, 90% done, shall we say? Didn't quite get it. I haven't quite got it as finished as I would like, but yeah, I'll come back to it at some point and get it all finished up. Is my Turvagon, if anyone wants to have a little look. Lighting and stuff is something I'm also going to have to work on, but yeah, we'll see. Um, Mr. Turvagon. Mrs. Turvagon? Let's go for Mrs. Anywho, that's not why we're here. Today I'm going to work on last year's festive model because I've never got around to building it. The Red Gobbo and Bouncer, obviously. Um, yeah, tonight I'm just going to make a start on some of the prep work, I guess. It was very strange talking to yourself when there's no one here, but that's just for the benefit of anyone that might watch further down the line. I guess I'm not talking and there's no client really, is there? So that's yeah. Let's be optimistic and assume that someone, sometime, somewhere is gonna actually listen to this crap. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, still trying to figure out all my settings and stuff. If anyone does come into chat at any point, please feel free to say hi, say like and subscribe. Yeah, who knows? But feel free to chat, say hi. That's probably the more important thing as far as I'm concerned. I'm quite looking forward to this. I am, sorry, figuring out where my camera is and everything. I'm quite a Christmas fan, so yeah, looking forward to this. It's good. Right, so now the instructions. Gobbo El Rouge, El Gobbo Rojo. I'm sure there's some English ones here somewhere too. Double Gobbo on Bouncer. Very good. Okay, so we have single sprue. Not too complicated, but I'm sure we can cock it up somehow. So let's get cracking. Um, yeah. Still haven't quite figured out where Twitch tells me how many viewers I have. Well, it's been an issue until now, but if someone does pop in the chat, please say hi because I might not notice that you're there otherwise. Cool. So I think I'm just gonna clip everything off and then start the cleanup process. Get rid of any little extra bits. any mold lines, all the usual stuff. Try not to wreck the model while I'm clipping it off the sprue. Just easy done, obviously. There you go. Yeah. Really hope you guys can hear the music, because if I start humming and tapping along and you can't, I'm going to seem pretty damn crazy. But, hey, we'll see. If anyone is there and watching at any point, I hope you guys are having a good night, wherever you are, whoever you are. Feet. Individual feet, excellent. Good. Do wonder sometimes about, which parts they choose to clips on these. Which parts they choose to make separate, whether it's just an ease of molding choice or whether it's fairly arbitrary. I guess most of these could be kind of injection molded all in one, which obviously would remove part of the fun bit of the hobby, for some people at least. Personally, I do quite enjoy this to an extent. I guess after a while it gets a bit tedious, especially with a horde army. I have that's a bauble. Oh no, not bauble. What will it be on here? Fairy light. Oh gosh, sorry. I just realised I need to actually do this in front of the camera. Yeah. Yeah. So for me, I'm a Tyranid collector mainly. So I guess it's not the once you've done your 20th Termagant and you're cleaning off mold lines and you still have another 40 to go, it can get pretty disheartening. But generally, I do quite enjoy the modelling and assembly kind of aspect of it. One thing I never really think about is the fact that these parts are numbered. Generally it's pretty easy to figure out what's what afterwards, but I suppose it's probably sensible to keep some sort of an eye on it. But yeah, just carry on as we are, figure it out. Right, what have we got then? So it's everything cut on. Maybe I will. Let's just. No, I'm not gonna just blitz them all because that's just gonna piss me off eventually. So we have some soft, squishy files. These are fun, very useful. Got different grits. Can't really put a word for that. Degrees of abrasiveness. So what are we going to start with? We're going to start with the base and the leg of the squig and the arse end of the squig. Jesus, quite a lot in this one first step, isn't there? It's not really a step, it's more assembling like the entire model. Squig's tongue, I think. Yeah, let's go for that. Squig's tongue. Yeah, okay, so 3 of those. Maybe I should have read the numbers. Are first. This is not. Let's get these out of the way. Let's work on prepping these. Might as well start with the harder one. I just get an X-Acto knife, scalpel blade, whatever you want to call it. So we can use maybe for some of the more bigger pieces. The base isn't quite so important. I'm not exactly losing any details with this. Yeah. Oh, okay, so it's a snow base. Let me see. Trying to figure out what the texture was. It's kind of hard to know what other streamers do when there's no viewers on the channel. Kind of like, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, doesn't make a sound because as soon as you go in to listen, then, there's someone there, so they might speak to you, talk to you. Um, Probably should do a little bit more research on that kind of stuff, I guess, but I suppose it's not really about what other people do, it's about what I want to do, isn't it? Right, so this is my finest one. I think it's 300 and something. And then I've got most of the stuff, so I can probably just use this now. Sorry about the fairly crappy background. My Let's say my hobby room is a work in progress. We've moved house fairly recently, and yeah, I'm still working on a proper space to hobby in. Um, as I said, I'm a Warhammer fan. Play quite a lot of Magic Gathering as well, so it's kind of a room for housing that kind of stuff. Um, Mostly, but since getting back in, well, so I loved Warhammer as a kid. I played um, when I was in school, kind of the early years of school, I guess, when I thought it was cool, and then you got through school, you went a bit further through school, and all of a sudden, little miniature models, war games, all this kind of crap is not no longer cool, and you know your attention moves to, I don't know, girls and music and drink and all this kind of stuff. So I kind of left it behind for quite a long time. Still got some of my models from then. I'm fairly sure there's probably some more in my parents' attic as well. But most of the stuff I had is now long gone, which is a real shame. But so I recently got back into it when I've kind of got to an age where I realised that it doesn't really give a shit what other people think about it, and if it's something that I enjoy, whether they think it's cool or not, I'm gonna do it. So yeah, so I got back into Warhammer about, oh, I don't know, probably during lockdown, really, I guess. I had a couple of models when I went back to uni. 'Cause my flatmate was quite interested in it too, so that made it a bit more acceptable as far as I was concerned. But that stuff, it was a very fleeting dip back into it, which didn't really accomplish anything with. So yeah, during lockdown, I guess you're not seeing anyone and you're indoors all the time, and I thought I need something to do to keep me occupied, to de-stress. Personally, I found lockdown a really stressful time. So I bought ordered some Warhammer online and started modeling and prepping and painting. I First thing I bought was oh gosh, what was it? It was Eldar uh, Crimson Hunter, I think. Just thought it was a very cool model. Thought I'd give it a go. Probably overreached. Probably was a bit of a stretch for me, having not painted or modelled in probably, I don't know, 20 plus years. So it didn't go particularly well, I have to be honest. And it is currently sitting on a shelf above me, which I'm not finished. So it is on my to-do list, or the pile of shame, as as we like to call it. But I will get to it one day, I think. To be honest, I just couldn't quite settle on a paint scheme. Um, Eldar, I think I bought it with. Oh, let's go back. I mean, Eldar are not really. They're not an army that I was ever hugely into. Like, I had some models. I think I probably tried to build an army very briefly as a kid. Um, but gave up on it, and they're fun, but always felt they were a bit of kind of glass cannony, a bit too fragile. So um, yeah, so I think I bought the Crimson Hunter with the aim of perhaps doing like more of a uh, soup army. I think Dark Eldar or Jakari, I suppose what they are now, was probably more what I was interested in. But I liked that model, and I think I probably just couldn't get a Void Bomber or something like that, so that I would get the Crimson Hunter. Anyway, so yeah, kind of wanted to do it in like Jakari colors or Dark Eldar colors. But yeah, it didn't quite work out so well. As I said, was a long time since I had done any modeling or painting, and see, my skills were never good in the first place. So I was pretty young when I last played. Um, was how long ago now? Well, it was second edition when I first picked up Warhammer, so um, that's obviously quite some time ago now. Obviously, quite some time ago now, and yeah, as a kid, I wasn't the most artistic or dexterous of children, so um, yeah, most of my models look like, well, most people's models do from that age, look like being dipped in a couple of bottles of Citadel paint and allowed to drip dry. Um, yeah, so I didn't have a good base to start from, so I think I probably overshot and or overstretched myself um, with the Crimson Hunter. So I I will do it at some point. Like, I will definitely get there. I just need to um, find some time. Um, Sorry, just trying to see if I can refocus my camera a bit without just touch it, but who knows. Anywho, as I said, this is a new thing for me, streaming. So it's very slapdash at the minute. I'm using my phone as a camera. I have a fairly crappy little tripod. It's hanging over my desk and wedged into place with a tub of BioStrip and some AK interactive terrain paints and all that kind of stuff. Heaviest things I could find around me to wedge it in place. Um, my laptop's off to one side, which has got Twitch running on it, and um, it doesn't really fit on my desk while I'm doing this, so it's kind of balanced in a box off to one side. Um, and then, yeah, basically using an app to stream my phone to my PC or to my laptop so that I can do this little wiggly bits. So it's fun. Um, but yeah, so it's yeah, about as amateurish a setup as you can get. So I'm still trying to figure it all out and get it all working properly. We'll get there. We will get there. So yeah, so that was my foray back into Warhammer, and then, since buying that Crimson Hunter, I guess I kind of realized that I enjoyed putting it together. I enjoyed trying to paint it, and yeah, I think I just kind of realized that. So, bit of context: in lockdown, I was staying at my with my girlfriend's parents. Like, we were both staying there, and having just come back from abroad, and not having anywhere else to stay in the UK. So yeah, and I think part of my reason for choosing the model that I bought, as well as that I thought it looked quite cool, was that, in my head, I'm like, I can kind of pass this off as like a model plane because that's more acceptable than like Warhammer. um, which, looking back, just seems so ridiculous. Like, you're with these people. These people are your friends, your family, your partner, your all this kind of stuff, and you're worried that they're gonna make fun of you for liking little models. Like, it's just absurd, isn't it? But that's where my head goes. So yeah, so that's probably why I chose it. Like I said, a little bit of a snaggy bit here, and I'm trying not to cut the top of the star. Um, yeah, so since then, or during that time, I guess, like they were all very cool about it because why wouldn't they be really? I mean, it's not like it's not a big deal. It's not hurting anyone. It's Yeah. So yeah, everyone was very cool about it, and we're just very like supportive, and very complimentary of my very shoddy painting. And I guess it gave me a bit of confidence that I can do this. I don't have to hide it away. I don't have to be ashamed of my hobbies. Because why should you? We all have our own preferences. They're not One thing's not better than another. It's Why should I play football if I don't like football? Why can't I just sit and put models together? Because it's not hurting anyone. Anyhow, so yeah, so I guess after that, I kind of dove head first into the hobby again, which is my usual approach to these sort of things. Going a bit OTT, um, looking up tons of forums, looking up um, loads of YouTube videos, all this kind of stuff, just to kind of see how to do things, what kind of kit do I really need to get better at it. You know, learned that you know every brush isn't the same as every other brush, and I need to buy brush soap and paint. Like obviously, Citadel paint's just there are other options out there. All this kind of stuff. So yeah, like I said, went headfirst into the hobby and started kind of researching the hell out of it and getting all the kit that I needed, and then yeah, buying all the stuff that I actually want to make. Um, I was always a My first ever army was Tyranids. Um, so I had Tyranids as a kid, and I loved the models. I loved the all the lore behind it. I remember being like a 12-year-old kid, 13-year-old kid, something like that, and sitting reading the stories in the Tyrannid Codex and my copies of White Dwarf, and just you know loving it. So that's kind of where I've headed again since I've come back. So hence the November project. I'm working on putting together a usable, playable Tyrannid army. I think I'm pretty close. Don't quite I haven't quite worked out like points values and all this kind of thing to see exactly what I've got. A lot of it, as I said, is well, I mean, as I said, I started in second edition, so and everything's changed so much since then in terms of the actual game and how it plays. So I need to figure out how all the point systems work a bit better. And the biggest issue I think I have actually is the army organization, like your detachments and your battalions and your all this kind of thing. So I'm trying to a bit of a chunk there, but I think this is a town. I think this is a town, and it'll be hidden away, so hopefully I won't be seeing too much. But um, yeah, so I'm still trying to figure all that kind of stuff out. What is a legal army? Like, it's a long time since I've played played Warhammer. Let alone modeling and stuff. So um, I yeah, I'm fairly sure. Like I remember it being, yeah, I'm pretty sure you had a commander, but then you basically just had your army was your army, and it was a points list. You know, it was just a point value total, and if you wanted to have tons of the same model, you could have tons of the same model. They'd just be in different squads and all this kind of stuff, but a bit more straightforward. Whereas now, obviously, it's a bit more complex, and I think probably for the better, and it allows you to balance out armies a bit better. Certainly balance out factions. Um, but I just need to, I need to get my head around it a bit better, just so that I can actually put something meaningful together and play some games. Because yeah, despite getting back into it in lockdown, I've still not actually played a game yet, which I would love to do. Like I got back into it for at least partly for that reason. Um, that was certainly what I enjoyed about it when I was a kid. Like, certainly that was the focus as a kid was the game, not the painting and the modeling. That was more something that got in the way. I can definitely enjoy that more now than I did then. But yeah, so I need to figure out what I've got and what I can actually play. Um, I've got a couple of friends who play, sort of older friends who similarly have gotten back into it in recent years. So yeah, to figure out how to actually do it. Um, I know a lot of folk play on TTS now as well, Tabletop Simulator, which sounds really good in terms of, it's accessible way to play, especially over distances. In a lot, I think my friends started doing that during lockdown just because you couldn't do it any other way. You couldn't go and see people. You couldn't just take your kit around to someone else's house and play. Then, so yeah, obviously it got a really big boost from that. But um, yeah, it seems fairly. Oh, to me, it seems fairly complicated. Like, I'm decent with computers and software and stuff, but yeah, I think I've not dedicated the time to it to figuring out exactly how to do it and how to get your again it's part of it's the army building, then part of it's the then trying to get that army into TTS. I've used TTS for other stuff, like I've used it for playing Magic and stuff. Mostly I don't know, kind of fishbowling decks and stuff like that, but a little bit of bits here and there. So the actual controls of TTS itself, I'm fairly comfortable with. Just the manipulating objects and things. But I guess with the Warhammer things, like from what I've done of it and seen of it, it adds in so many other aspects and tools like your measurements and terrain and all that kind of thing. So again, all of which I think is really useful and is kind of necessary, but it takes a while to get your head around. So I think I will devote some time to trying to do that, but at the moment it's still a bit of a on the back burner for me. And just want to get my army to a point where I can actually use it. Um, so yeah, I think I'll probably upload this to YouTube as well. So I've gone the whole hog with I don't know the content creation, the social media, the everything. Um, so I've got my Twitch channel, which I'm streaming on currently, and then um, I've started a YouTube channel, which so far, I've just really uploaded video for my first stream to, and some short or a short so far, some kind of magic pack opening kind of stuff. And I think what I will, oh yeah, yeah, social media, yeah. So and then an Instagram for mostly for the Warhammer type stuff, just because it translates pretty well to Instagram. Your model pictures, your work in progresses, all this kind of stuff. Or works in progress. English is awful sometimes. Um, and then all the usual stuff, Twitter, etc. So uh, yeah, I'm just kind of throwing myself at all of it and seeing how it goes, seeing how it works, seeing if anything comes of it. To be honest, as much as a hobby in itself, something else to do. Um, I'm not the most chatty of people normally, so this is a big thing for me. God, we're gonna get deep on the first one. No, we're not. But yeah, I'm not that kind of. I'm not usually a talky person, so hoping this might be kind of beneficial. Just going through this process. Right. So it's the first few bits prepped, so I actually get to stick things together now, which is more of the fun bit. I'm also going to open a beer because what fun is this without beer, eh? God, that sounds awful, but hey ho, cheers. I really hope all of this is working because if I get to the end of this and realize that the mic hasn't worked or some crap like that, I'm going to be pissed. But oh well, never mind. Right, let's crack on. So, got my good old poly cement, um, which needs to get cleaned off. I used to love polystyrene cement as a kid. I used to use it to make, I don't know if anyone else did, but I used to use it to make terrain. Um, so I don't know if you play Warhammer, you must have done this, but polystyrene cement on polystyrene. I call this polystyrene cement. I don't know if that's the actual name or if that's just what I used to call it as a kid, but plastic glue, um, liquid glue for plastics. Yeah, I always knew it as polystyrene cement. But yeah, if you put it on polystyrene, it dissolves it, so like fairly dramatically. So again, in the with being a Tyranic player as a kid, I just used to pour some of it or drip some of it onto these lumps of polystyrene, and they would create these big kind of like cavitations in it, and what looked like so possibly like bubbling pools and all this kind of fun stuff. So that was my incredibly technical terrain production as a kid. So yeah, I still love playing with that stuff. Right, now let's see how this fits together. Hopefully not too badly. So I want to try and do a pretty good job at this, considering it's a one-off. It's obviously a Christmassy thing. I don't have like an orc. Go with orcs. It's got a stick of dynamite. Is it even 40k or is it? I don't know. I don't even know if you can play this in something or not, but it has electric lights. Come on, it must be 40k rather than fantasy. Oh, sorry, Age of Sigmar. Showing my age again there. I'm pretty sure I saw a gun in here somewhere. Yeah, there's like that could be an Uzi pistol. Who knows? Anywho, um, uh, yeah. So it's not like I have an orc army or anything like that. So I'm really just doing this because I want to make it and I want to paint it. So I'm going to try and make a good job of it. I'm gonna sort of need to try and make sure I'm keeping this in the best sort of frame. Mark something maybe so that I know where the center of the camera is. Um, so yeah, I think once I've got it assembled, I might go to the extent of filling in like the tiny, tiny little gaps and things like that. Little, bits in here. I've got some. Where is it? Vallejo plastic putty, which is pretty good for filling in mold line, well not mold lines, but the tiny little gaps that you get in your models. Right, so what have I got to do? I've got to stick this in there, but I also, tricky bit to start with. I have to make this stick in there as well. Jeez. Right, so that goes in there. Okay, so the squig is swallowing bubbles, is it? Excellent, wonderful, good, classic pet at Christmas, swallowing tree decorations. Right, so I need to stick the three of these together at once. So this is going to go badly. I'm going to make a huge mess, but let's give it a go anyway. Right, so I want glue. Right here, around there, and around the inside too. Okay, so around that edge. Um, See, normally you can just put the glue on one part, one side of it, and then it will come into contact with the other side as you put two together. But the third part, that bit in the middle, will only be touching one bit of it, um, one bit of glue, so I need to put some glue on the other side as well. That's quite a cool detail. So the oh god, can we see this anywhere? Can the camera focus? Can it? Can it? Oh, kind of can, almost. Sort the light a little bit though. There we go. Ready? Oh, come on. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but right in here, which is inside the model, and as far as I can tell, isn't visible. Oh god, this is starting to come already. I don't think this is visible, but there are other baubles in there, which is kind of cool. Almost seems kind of redundant, but I like that they've done it anyway. Maybe there's some other purpose for it, but no, I don't think there is. But yeah, anyway, that's cool. I like that. Right, so let's start getting going. This is get going. Started humming when I'm thinking and when I'm I don't know, kind of procrastinating and stuff. So this is going to go here. I think it part might be one of these things that you're like, is this slow decline into old age where I don't know, like these old people that make weird noises when they move or when they um, do anything. Right, let's put that a little bit on the inside of here, just see what it's done. I really need to alter the setup so that I can see what I'm doing on the camera as I'm doing it. Oh, no, upside down. There we go. This way. Yeah, that stuff on top. And that goes in there. And let's go from here. Does it? Maybe? No. It's gone anyway. Let's just see. There we go. Cool. Right. And what I also like about using plastic glue or polystyrene cement is that because it dissolves the surface, it's actually sometimes in itself is quite good at cleaning up tiny little gaps because it dissolves and then rehardens and then fills to an extent. I used to, it's probably not the best approach, but I used to just kind of run it along the surface of some of these lines and rub it in with my finger sometimes just to try, there's a bit much on there, to try and fix them a little. The risk is, I suppose, that you obscure or remove some of the detail in doing that. You know, the smaller bits on your fingerprinty streaks in there, but just shouldn't do that. But stop doing that. Stop doing it before you wreck the model. But yeah, anywho, that's come together pretty well. And I did the bit for the next bit, so face, squig face. I love squigs, they're such a strange idea. You know, the person came up with it. I don't know what the thought process behind it was. Um, I get that orcs are a fungus, which is a strange enough idea in itself. Um, yeah, like a talking humanoid fungus. But squigs are just, yeah, really weird. I know that like the original squigs were they were Tyranid, I think. In like the lore, I'm sure way back when. Um, I think they were some sort of Tyranid experiment on something orky or something like that. Because they used to be a playable model in a Tyranid army rather than in an orc army, as far as I'm aware. It may have been playable in orcs as well, but for some reason Tyranids could play squigs too. They didn't look like this though. They looked like these teeny little, almost like a ripper size creature, and you'd have a base with several of them on the one base, like your Ripper Swarms or your Nurgling bases and all that kind of stuff. Go. Let's see. I don't think I'm going to bother trying to, I don't know, assemble, paint this separated or anything like that. I think I'm gonna no sub-assemblies. That's the term I'm looking for. I'm just gonna assemble the whole thing. Um, what's this? Oh, someone in my channel. Someone in my chat. Let's have a look. Oh, you're a bot. Oh, my first person in chat is a bot. Great. Show viewers list. Let's see. Oh, I don't know what all that is. Let's close viewers list. Yeah, first time chat. Who have we got? Finn Gamer Channel 3 PL. I want to promote your channel. Viewers, followers, views, chatbots. The price is lower than any competitor. Oh, dude. Um, cool. I mean, yeah, I get that these kind of services are going to pop up with anything like this, but yeah, I'm good. If you're a human being, then thanks, dude. But I'm okay for now. I might consider that kind of thing further down the line if I feel it's necessary. But at the minute, more or less just doing this for me. Uh, so let's get this onto its base. Do I want to put it on the base? Maybe I don't. Ooh. Maybe no sub-assemblies, but maybe I will not attach it to the base so that I can do that in itself. Right, okay. Let's put that off to one side. Right, what's next? Next we have, one of these tiny little feet. Oh, both of these tiny little feet actually. Right, I don't know how the hell I'm going to clean these. But yeah, good. And then legs. Is that as well? Legs, yeah, okay. So one leg and where's the other leg? Please don't have lost up leg already. Oh no, it's just attached to Squig. Squig leg and Gobbo leg. Alright, next. I think tonight I will try and get this finished and assembled, and that'll probably do me. Um, yeah. I guess if you're watching this further down the line, obviously on Twitch, I don't think I'll be able to see any chat if the chat's not done live. I don't know. I'm still like obviously I watch Twitch a lot, but I am still trying to figure out how all the broadcasting and stuff works and all that aspect of it. But if you're watching this on YouTube and you have any comments about what kind of thing you would like to see or any changes I can make, um, oh, do I need to turn my mic up? I will have a listen to this afterwards and see how it actually sounds. But I'm hoping it all works out okay. I was trying to do some testing and stuff earlier. But yeah, I mean, if anyone has any feedback, obviously I'm just learning at this, but I will take it all on board and try and improve it. For as much as yeah, this is for me. I would like it if people wanted to see it, or if people enjoyed it, or that people got something from it, other than just me. As I say, I'm happy to kind of take all that kind of stuff on board, constructive criticism and all that. Comments. If it's negative, fine. I'll at least read it. Might get upset about it, but see how that goes. Yeah. Rolls lines, or is that? Can't quite tell. Let's see what this clicks onto. Does that click onto a foot? Yeah, that clicks onto a foot. Right. So, do the feet have any sort of indentation in them that I need to? That one certainly. And what about this one? Gosh, I don't know which. Right, I really should have looked at the numbers for these. Oh well, never mind. Um, does this connect onto there? Uh, oh, does it have a groove there? Oh, it does have a groove. Oh, I almost, there's a tiny little groove in, not a groove, there's a tiny little groove in the foot, and there's a little ridge in the middle of the ankle, which I thought is so small and fine. I thought it could have been a mold line. It would have been a fairly chunky mold line, but it could have been all the same. So I almost removed that, but thankfully did not. Right now, so we got the hunt for mold lines. Because if we don't find them now, then I will be seriously pissed later when I find them when the paint goes on. As I said, I when I got back into the hobby, I kind of went a little bit OTT, and obviously realised that these days, because well, they existed, but these days everyone, or not everyone, but airbrushing is the thing. Having an airbrushing your models, which is what I've been doing. I still do brushes and things as well. Obviously you can't really do a hobby without them, but yeah, airbrushing. I'd never heard of that as a kid. When I had Warhammer, you got brushes, you had very basic paints. You were all Citadel paints because nothing else, as far as I was aware, existed at that stage. I really don't think we had things. I don't think things like Vallejo and Army Painter and stuff existed. Certainly not in the Warhammer kind of world, as far as I was aware. Maybe in your other model armies kind of type things. I'm not really sure where they started from, but should probably put a cap back on this before it solidifies, dries out, whatever, or I spill it everywhere. Yeah, so it was very basic. We had you had brushes. You maybe had a couple of different sizes of brush, but you just had your brushes and your simple acrylic paints. And now it's a whole new world. Like airbrushing is great. I love it. It's really good fun. It's an amazing technique, and I think once you get your head around the basics, it's actually very beginner friendly in terms of, yeah, that initial learning curve of how to actually physically use the thing, might take you some time, but once you've got that, it can produce pretty good results um, for people that may not be able to do so with brushwork and that kind of thing. Not to mention, I mean, it's really good for stuff like I use it for my priming and everything now. I still have the cans of primer that I bought when I first bought some models again. But I haven't touched them since I got the airbrush because instead I just have bottles of primer and use it through the airbrush, and it's not so temperature and humidity dependent and that kind of thing. Because I don't know about you, where you are, you being the person that, well, if you're watching it, then I'm speaking to someone. If you're not watching it, then no one's hearing me, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I don't know about where you are, but here today, it is freezing. Well, it's below freezing. Um, it has been for a few days now. So, the prospect of trying to prime some models in this temperature would just be, nah, this would not happen. So, yeah, having the airbrush really, really helps with that kind of stuff. Um, so it's great, very handy. A bit big. Let's get rid of you. Let's group you down a bit. This is quite fun. What am I listening to? I need to find out if I can put like I don't know, song list, what I'm listening to on the stream. I guess there must be widgets and stuff, surely, but I don't know where they are yet. So yeah, we'll figure out how to do that. Uh, and if yeah, well, I suppose that's the one thing. So the music doesn't translate to VOD, therefore on YouTube this will just be silence with me talking. Um, so yeah, sorry if this is weird. Yeah, currently what am I listening to? Fields of Green by CeeLo. Hmm, nice. We're on the chilled electronic playlist on Twitch soundtrack, so it's good. I like it. Um, I was never really an EDM fan as a kid, as a younger person, until I went to uni and got some really bad habits. But I really do enjoy it now, especially kind of this kind of thing, like more chill out electronica, which is quite good fun, quite nice. It has just a nice tempo while still being, it's got a relatively fast tempo without being heavy or intense, and it's just, yeah, I find it something that's quite easy to relax to. Some nice, slightly ethereal kind of vocals and that kind of jazz. I suppose one benefit to there actually being viewers on Twitch would be that I would have people to talk to or people to kind of converse with, a bit of back and forth. Whereas at the minute, it's kind of it does leave it all on the broadcaster to think of things to talk about. And obviously, while you're doing something, whether that's playing a game or this one had these both got ridges. I don't remember there being a ridge, not one. Anyway, anyway, sorry. Yeah, whether you're playing a game or doing a hobby or whatever, I guess that gives you something to talk about while you do it. I can talk about these bits and pieces and problems I'm having and what I'm doing. Um, but yeah, I guess if there were actual human beings in here, that would help spur on the conversation a little bit, I guess. So let's get these bits and try and not break this bike off the back because you know what I'm gonna do. It is quite interesting when I look at older models of mine. I don't have a lot from as a kid. I can't remember. I don't know if I sold it or if it, maybe it is hidden away in my parents' attic or somewhere like that. But I've certainly never seen it for years and years and years. Um, and but yeah, some of the older stuff that I do have, when I look at it, I used to butcher these things and cutting them off sprues and trying to cut off these little spurs or bars that are left after you remove them from the sprue. Um, like mold lines, I wasn't even conscious of mold lines, I don't think, at that stage, but uh, so they all had those. But yeah, anything that had those little burrs on, I would destroy with a Stanley knife or with a craft knife in the process of trying to remove them. Big gouges out them, cutting off all the detail, all that fun stuff. Yeah, so trying to be a bit more precise these days, a bit more respectful of the details. Although putting these little, I guess they're kind of like nails or screws that hold in the little spur on the back of the shoe, are right beside the join, like where it's connected to the sprue. So it's going to be very easy to get rid of, to sand that off when I'm trying to sand off the bar. I don't know what everyone else calls those things. Um, Nothing to really think about because you don't mention it to people or talk about it usually. But I guess bars a bit less than I can think of to call them. Alright, that'll do for those. Okay. Yeah, again, sorry for the crappy surface, but we will. I'm kind of hoping I can get, well, as part of doing up this room and getting more equipment for the hobby and things like that, I really want to get one of the texture mats, the um, dry brushing ones. The texture mats, I think that's what they call them. The Artis Opus ones. So yeah, and that's probably gonna be one of my next purchases. That and a proper compressor for my airbrush because at the minute, so when I got into uh, Warhammer things again, I once I've read up about airbrushes and all this kind of thing, I thought, yeah, that sounds good, but I also don't want to waste a ton of money on it and then it be a total waste of, or like, something that I then give up on 2 weeks later. So this one's over here. So I heard a lot of folks saying, or read, seen a lot of videos and chat saying like, get a cheap airbrush to start with. It's fine until you learn what you're doing. So I got a budget Amazon job, um, where you know, like I think it was 40 quid or something like that. Um, and used that for a while, and it was fine. Like, I mean, it was decent. Um, right, I need to figure out what's front and what's back before I fuck this up. Uh, right, looking at this tiny little drawing here, it looks like. Um, so if I hold it this way, which is the way they've got it, then the foot's going up this way. Cool. Okay. Foot up this way. That's fine. Yeah, so yeah, cheap airbrush, which was fine. It did the job. It let me learn what I was doing fundamentally. Like how to hold it, how to use it, how to actually spray paint at a model. Um, but anything more technical than that, it was kind of not great. There really wasn't much control. Um, it clogged fairly easily, and then I think the first time I tried to clean the nozzle, like the tiny little internal nozzle, it just snapped and stripped. So I kind of took that as a sign, uh, to invest in a proper one because by that point I decided that I did really enjoy using it and found it very useful. So I just took a plunge and bought a proper proper airbrush. So I've now got a where are we? Where are you hiding? Trying not to pull the thing off my desk. So I now have my Iwata Eclipse HPCS, which is it's so nice. It's so much more fun to use, more user friendly. Like the play on the lever, the nozzle, everything about it is just such higher quality. But I am, however, still using the original compressor that I got with the first airbrush. So it's it's a piece of junk, really. It's about I don't know, a fifth of the size of any other compressor that I've seen since, that anyone else uses online and whatever. So that has to be a purchase soon as well, I think. Right, now let's focus on trying to get this together in the right way. Okay, so feet are up in the air. Yeah, because he's kind of reeling on it, isn't he? Yeah, falling back, feet in the air. Cool. So that goes on there, and this goes on here. Do they connect at the top? Let's see. Do they? Yes, they do. Right. Okay. Okay. So there's not really a mounting point for the second bit. The second bit connects to the first bit, and they both kind of stick on top. Fine. Let's see. Try and do this then. So if we do a bit on here, a bit on there. Good. See this? Yes. Again, yeah, I need to recenter all of this. I need to move the camera, but I know if I do that just now, it will fall off. So we're not going to do that. We'll do a bit on the back here because I think that's where it's going to sit. And then a bit to connect the legs together. A bit on there. Yeah, that should work. Right, so do this bit on here. Make sure you get it lined up properly. Come on, come on, don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up now. Yeah, there we go. That there, and then this bit can come across. Oh Right, there we go. Oh my God, screwing this up. Um, Also, if anything I say is someone finds offensive, then also please let me know. Apologies, not my intention. Um, I try not to insult anyone, any groups, any people whilst going about my life, but you never know what I think is okay. Someone else might not, and I'm happy to be told about that and change my ways and all that kind of stuff. So, right, I think they're supposed to go together. I hope so. That's what we've done now. So we don't quite line up in terms of um, this little line around the back. It's a bit off, but it's what it is now. Yeah, lift up slightly. That's better. That's a bit better. Okay, cool. Right, so that can start to dry. Hopefully, will not press itself off of itself. Right, next page. What have we got? Maybe I put this over here so I can have an idea of like the middle-ish, somewhere around here. Cool. So next we have sticking everything on. Right, head. Start picking these bits and pieces. Get rid of me burrs. So I described my journey back into Warhammer, um, and all the anxiety and you know worry about people not thinking it's cool and all this kind of shit, which is so ridiculous. Like it's such like why would you care about that kind of thing? But we do. I do. I don't know why, but yeah. So that's it's kind of I guess a common theme with me and hobbies and stuff. Like I've always enjoyed this kind of stuff, and but if people were to ask me what my hobbies were, unless I felt they were someone who was similarly inclined, I probably wouldn't mention this, which is really crap. And I really hate that about myself and hope that, maybe I can change that in time. Um, but oh no, 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 I've just rubbed off his ear tip. Oh, this is what I mean. Little details and stuff that are beside bury bits. Right, let's try this with a knife because I can't get the file in there. Yeah, like I said, it's kind of a common theme with lots of that kind of stuff that I get quite embarrassed about my hobbies and things, which is, yeah, as I said, it's stupid, but it's who I am and I'm trying to change it. But yeah, I kind of did the same with Magic, and I kind of doing the same with this as well. So I've not, I've not really told like friends and family and stuff that I'm doing this, like in terms of like streaming and that kind of thing. Partly because I don't know if it's going to succeed or not, or not succeed. Not that I'm doing this with like a major goal or whatever, but whether anyone else will watch it, I suppose is more kind of what I mean about that. Let's get back to the file. But yeah, like so my partner knows that I have started my Instagram, so she knows about my Instagram, which and has been really supportive of that, and likes my posts and my photos, and gives me a bit of feedback and that kind of thing, which is really good. We've got to the stage where the other day she was asking, you haven't put anything up for like a few days, or have I just missed it? And I was like, no, I haven't. I do need to. I've not had time, but um, fitting all this stuff into an already pretty busy life. But she's been great. Like she's so supportive of these kind of things. Um, so it's silly that I'm embarrassed about it or hiding it and things like that. But as I said, I haven't told her about the streaming so far, and it's not that I want to hide it from anyone, really. I guess, like I say, it's just that fear of or that anxiety of I don't know, are people going to think it's stupid or I don't know. Anyway, I will tell her. So if you if at some point you are looking, I've told you about this and you're now watching it or listening to it, hi, thanks for watching. Um, and thanks for being so accepting of my hobbies. But yeah, cool. So I think that's all the crap off of this guy. Off the head. Now what else have we got? So I need to stick the head on. Its holster, and what's this bit on the other side? Oh, a grenade. Oh, come on, we're definitely in 40k territory here, aren't we? We've got a grenade, and we've got a pistol and a holster. So these are both pretty tiny. Pistol and holster. Let's see, are there any visible mold lines? Oh, there is a bar on front. Sorry, again, I need to get an eye. Part of the issue here is the desk that I'm working on is quite deep, and the shelf that I've got my camera on is behind the desk or above the back of the desk at least. So I'm having to lean right across the desk to do this. So it's really is really not ergonomic at all. But yeah, it's kind of all I've got for just now. So until I work on a or get a better hobby space, this is what we have. Or find a better way to mount a camera. Um, Thankfully, I had some self-restraint when it came to the streaming kind of stuff because, as I said, I tend to go whole hog into hobbies and things, and if I there was a real risk that I was going to buy a proper camera for just for streaming, which I may then have done 2 videos and dumped to the wayside. So I'm quite glad I didn't do that. It was uh, um, uncommonly sensible of me not to do that, but I will, if I do continue this, need to invest in something because phone cam is not ideal. Is this a bar? Yes, it is. Is it? Yes, it is. Yeah. So, yeah, I will need to invest in some proper camera, proper lighting, all that kind of stuff if I continue. But for now, we make do. We do what we have to with what we have. Careful, right? Maybe we'll get the file out now. Oh, I should have just read the what do you call this? This thing. I don't know the terms for these things anymore. The data sheet. Data sheet. Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Um, which makes me think of data cards, which were a thing, or like relic cards and all this kind of stuff when I used to play. But yeah, I should have just read this, and it would have and instantly told me that it was Warhammer 40k because we have a custom Grot Blaster. It definitely is not Fantasy or Age of Sigmar. So yeah, when I last played Warhammer, Age of Sigmar didn't exist. We just had Warhammer. Well, it was Warhammer and Warhammer 40k, and Warhammer then I guess became Warhammer Fantasy Battle, or maybe that's just what it was always called, and we just referred to it as Warhammer. But I played that for a bit as well. Did I? Yeah, I did. What did I have in that? I think I maybe had Dark Elves. Um, oh yeah, my previous references to Drukhari as Dark Eldar, because that's what they were. That's what I know them as. Um, but yeah, it's weird how these things change over time. Um, Same as Eldar are now Eldari. I don't know the reason for that. I don't know why that changed because that's a fairly fundamental change. Like Dark Eldar. Well, I guess they're probably for the same reason. we haven't they've dropped the term Eldar for some reason. So yeah, who knows? Oh no, I've done the wrong bit. Head is the next step. Head is step number 4. It's a torso that I needed to do. Oh well, right, okay. At least that was done for the next step. So here we go. It's a big chunk of it. Yeah, so yeah, Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Yeah, I think it was Dark Eldar I had for that. Um, I remember when Bretonians were released, and there was this kid who I used to play Warhammer at like a games club kind of thing that was like it was in some church hall in the town where I stayed, and my friend and I used to go every week and every weekend to play. But there was like a big mix of people. Like there was quite a big age range. Like there was a lot of kids who went, but there was adults as well. And I remember like that kind of slightly juvenile look or approach to things where you just kind of assume that the adults are better at things because they're adults. They know what they're doing, you know. And I remember that there was this one kid who played Bretonians, um, who were the kind of I don't know if they have a an equal in or an analog in Age of Sigmar. Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyway, he played Bretonians and I don't know, he was just so good at it. He like absolutely schooled everyone at this club whenever they played him. He was just incredible. Um, with his Bretonian army, and I just remember playing him once and just being like holy crap, you're on a different level. Like it made me feel like I just fumble about through this game because I find it fun. I build an army because it's fun. Like this guy was building, meta like army kind of thing, of like this is competitive. This is what wins games. I was playing it because I like these models. They look cool. Look, they've got funny spiky bits, or whatever else. Or so yeah, that was the time when I really realized my approach to it perhaps wasn't the same as everyone else's. Um, but yeah, seeing him like beat all the adults was just like, oh my god, like you can do that. Like kids can beat them. Uh, I generally just played like the other kids because I don't know, maybe I was a lot more had a lot more immature of an approach to it than I realized at that time. Maybe I wasn't actually playing properly, but I think I was. Um, but yeah, but yeah, Warhammer Fantasy Battle or Warhammer or Age of Sigmar or whatever. Quite enjoyed that as well. I miss not that I've played Age of Sigmar, but I have obviously played 40k, and you have your how your units are set up, your round bases, and your coherency and all that kind of stuff. I really liked the fancy battle Warhammer thing of your units that were attached. You had your square bases and everything fit together. I liked the aspect of flanking and you know all that kind of thing. Your unit had flanks because you were a square or a rectangle or whatever. Um, or I think cavalry can maybe be in like spear point kind of things as well. I don't know, can't remember. Anyway, I liked that element of tactics to it. It felt very, I suppose, like the Total War games. Like you had this kind of top-down. It made it feel very much like a commander looking over a battlefield in those kind of situations. Which I think that the round bases and the more scattered approach doesn't have. Um, like, don't get me wrong, I still enjoy it. It's still fun, and obviously the tactics are there's still a lot of tactics about it, and just as much so, I think. But yeah, I feel that was an aspect I really enjoyed about it. But yeah, I think it sounds like there's a lot of there is a movement to bring it back. I think from what I've read. I haven't looked into it properly, but I think that would be cool. I hope it's as simple for people to move over to as rebasing. Obviously, different army choices perhaps might have some things that are better than others. Some things you might not choose because they're no longer good in that game or whatever. But I would hate to think that people wouldn't be able to use the stuff that they already have. I hate when they kind of use these things as a way to make more money, you know. It's bad enough when they alter points costs and things of units to the extent where they're no longer popular, and all of a sudden this army you've been building is not competitive and you don't really want to play it. But but for me, that's why I always kind of, when I know that, again, not played, but I watch a lot on YouTube and that kind of thing. So I know that Tyranids are in a very competitive position right now. But when I started collecting them again and building them, they weren't. That was what are we in now? Ninth edition, so eighth edition, I guess. Like, just before the all the kind of Crusher Stampede stuff came out. And at that stage, they really weren't in a good position. But it was very much I know they're not, but they're an army that I know I will enjoy, regardless of what happens. So it made sense for me to get them and build them and paint them because I thought I would enjoy it anyway, regardless of what kind of a competitive position they were in. So yeah, that's always my approach to it. I think, yeah, like I said, I hate when they push things out of favor just by changing. I get the game's got to be balanced and things, but at the same time, it's also something that people spend a lot of money on, you know. All right. What goes in this little hole? It's like a little hole in here. Is there something that goes in there? This gun doesn't look like it does, or does it? Maybe it does. It looks like it does. The gun goes in the back here, I think. This way. Hmm. Yeah, that little triangle matches up with that little triangle and goes in there. Yeah, so what goes in here? Hmm. Interesting. Why is there a little hole in the side of his coat? Is that some sort of error on the thing? The mold? I don't know. Let's see. No, no, no. The hole's definitely there on the sprue picture. Just don't know what goes in it. Anyway, we'll carry on. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick this on first. Um, this gun, very pistol. Custom crop blaster. Stick down. Let's hold that for a wee second. And the other side we have the grenade, the stick bombs. I do like orcs. They're fun. I don't think I have it in me right now to start another horde army, but they are very cool. I just love the ridiculousness of them, all the sort of chucked together vehicles and weird technology. Um, I did have an orc army for a while. I think I traded someone for it. Um, when I was younger, I remember what was it called? What was it shock attack gun? The thing with the big spinning where's my camera? Here it is. The big spinning orbs kind of thing on the gun. And from memory, I think it basically teleported a Grot or a Gretchen into the target or something, which is horrific if you think about it. But that was a different weapon I'm thinking of. But that certainly I'm sure was one of them, which just is unreal. Like, who thinks of this stuff? It's absolutely crazy. Uh, yeah, so that I love that aspect of like of the orc army, just how weird and different they are, and the really strange concepts that there are in them. Let's make sure it was on properly, facing the right way. Ooh, do it from front. Come on. There. Okay, so that goes in. I'll put a little bit glue in there just for lining things up. Um, yeah, I would like an orc army, but ooh, that's the hands there as well. Ooh, not glued down. Oh well, never mind. I think it works. But yeah, I don't have it in me for a second horde army. I know like Nids can be run with big monsters and all that kind of stuff, but fundamentally, you're never not gonna have a load of um, gaunts of some description. Right. That's that bit stuck in there. So next we have the head, which I've already done accidentally. So we'll stick that in. Will we stick that in? Yeah. I'm not. I don't want to sub-assembly that. How does it sit in? Where are we? You sit on there. I should paint the coat separately. No, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to take it as a painting challenge and force myself to do it. Right. So, right, that's attached. The head is on. We're almost there. Careful. Right, now we have the little bit of fairy lights. Trying to get the last bit off of here. Um, Bigger bits. This one's going to be a bit of a nightmare, I think, to try and clean because it's so fragile and 100% going to kind of break it. Just if we can. Careful, careful, careful. And that scalpel slips and just gouges straight into the bit beside it. Move it over here. Let's just try sanding these now, filing them. Wee bit of an old line. Seems. I can understand why, as a kid, you would completely ignore things like this because who the hell has the time and patience for this? You know what? Borderline autistic adults. That's who has the time for it. Borderline nothing. Yeah. Spectrum for a reason. Right. Where are we? It's weird that I find this relaxing. Do you people, viewers, non-existent viewers, do you find this relaxing also? You know, cleaning up your models, getting rid of all your mold lines. God, these ones are really fine. At least they're coming off really easy. You know, when I started this, I kind of I bought like a Dremel and thinking, you know, well, one, I can use it for like DIY around the house and we're moving house. But also, yeah, it'll be really good for like cleaning off mold lines. And I think the first time I tried to do it using one of the like grinding or sanding bits, it basically just like disintegrated half the model because you know the lowest revs per minute is or revs per second. I don't know what revolutions get measured in. Was huge, and it just yeah blitzed right through what I was trying to the mold line, the detail, half the limb were all gone. So yeah, not gonna do that again. Oh, is that does that go into that little hole? Maybe. I think the chain. Okay, no, I don't know. So I think part of it goes in the mouth. Maybe this bit. Don't know. And then this bit goes in. There's a little knobbly bit here. I think it might go in the little hole in the guy's jacket. That would make me happy if it does, because otherwise there's a weird hole that doesn't make sense. Um, Again, if you're watching this after and I'm just singing along, there is music right now. You just can't hear it because it's not allowed in the VOD. Um, yeah, I need to figure out all that kind of stuff and make sure I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm trying to do what Twitch is telling me to do, so God, if I've broken that there. Pay attention to what you're doing. I'm trying to do what Twitch is telling me to do, but there's every chance that I've clicked something wrong and done something wrong, and actually I'm going to get something taken down for breaking copyright or some rubbish. But we'll see. Anyway, hopefully not. Right, we have this, and then we have the choice of parts with the Rudolph nose, which is definitely going on. Like I said, I'm a big Christmas fan, and being able to turn a squig into Rudolph just sounds like great fun to me. A little bit. I think that's a bit. Yeah, cool. Okay, so where does the nose go? On his nose. Right. Let's see if we can get this to fit. Like that. Just a little bit around. Oh, there we go. That fit nicely. Right. Okay. So we just need that to happen again. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Can't really see this properly. This is just a video of people looking at my hands, isn't it? This is. I need to get a better camera or a different view because at the minute this is mostly just the back of my hands as I fumble around with bits of grey plastic. Um, oh, that's cute, isn't it? Look at his nose. I love that. That's very cool. Right, now, fairy lights. Where the hell do you fit them? I'm just going to put that bit into the hole that I think it might attach to and see how if I can make that work. Because that, as I said, would make me very happy. Yes, that goes in there. And oh, yes, that goes there. Oh, perfect. Perfect. Right. Oh, come on. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, does that just sit on the edge of his mouth? Okay, fine. I thought it might connect to something. Oh, does it? Or is he just basically chewing on it? Has already broken that bell? I don't know. Anyway, that definitely goes there though. Right. Yeah. Okay. So we bit through it already. That's what's happening. Right. So let's get a bit of glue on here. Oop. And then hopefully that bit of music by myself is not copyrighted. Um, but I think that's it. Don't break it. Don't break it. Oh god, there's a lot of line there that I've not got. Oh, that's irritating. Oh, do I take it out? Oh, can I? Can I? Can I? Oh no, we've started bonding already. I just really want to get that. Oh, I don't even know if I can. It's like right down the inside edge of this bauble. Yeah, I can. Yeah, we can get that without breaking everything else. Because that would be gutting at this stage. Right. Okay. Better. Right. Okay. Don't worry about it. We'll reattach that. Uh, more. Don't really know if we need this, but we'll do it anyway. Right. And let's reattach. Done. Now, yeah, it's better. It'll do. Cool. Now, can we see this? Sort of. Hello. Really pretty. Awesome. Now, the real test of my the understanding of my partner is going to be, if I paint this up and make it look all Christmassy, will she let me hang it from the tree? Or even better, take pride and center place on the mantelpiece? Unlikely, but we'll give it a go. First off, that does require obviously painting it up, so that's going to be my next step. Um, yeah, I'm not going to base this just now because I think it's just going to make it easier for me to do off the base. Means I can stick it to my painting handle and whatever. But yeah, cool. I'm really happy with that. I feel glad that I took the time to get our mold lines off properly and only very slightly blitzed some of the details on the ear. This little pom pom has got a wee bit of a ridge on it, but I think if I try and file that anymore, I'm going to lose the texture of the pom pom. Um, Pom pom textures. That's the kind of stuff we talk about here. So if you wanna see me talk about pom pom textures more and paint this, then please follow me on Twitch, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter. Don't follow me along the street because that's weird. But otherwise, social media wise, feel free. Um, I need to stop looking at this because I'm gonna find mold lines. Stop it, stop it, stop it, put it away. Anyway, yeah, this has been fun. This has been a lot longer than my first stream that I did, which was a pack opening of the Magic the Gathering Secret Lair. Was it Heads I Win, Tails You Lose deck? So if you want to see that, you can see it on my Twitch VODs or on my YouTube. It is available on both, and you can see me fumble around with technology once again, and Twitch and all that jazz. Um, Otherwise, yeah, if you like this, if this is in any way interesting, or if you just feel like throwing me a bone and giving me a break, then please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, give me feedback, do whatever. But yeah, this has been fun. Um, I enjoyed it. I think I do get something out of doing this. So yeah, we'll probably continue regardless. All right. Uh, Anyone who is listening to this, all the best, and we'll maybe see you around.